And welcome back to episode 156 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man, Malcolm 21 Crimes Wine King.
It's actually 19 crimes.
Oh, they was
but
too
was close.
They was 2 crimes short. Then they should have spun the block short a few times. We got my guy Q McLeod in the building. Even though I always introduce you last, that threw me off today. Let's go back. I got my guy CT in the building. What's popping? And I got my guy with me, Q McLeod. What's happening with you?
Cheers.
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 Cheers. Cheers to it's still this week's football. No, it's last week's football.
No, it's last week.
Wait. So let me ask you a question. This brings us to I guess a decent, cuz does the week start on Sunday or Monday or Thursday? Thursday it starts.
Tuesday
is when the new week
well, because
starts.
you know, generally teams will get Monday off if you play on Sunday. You know what I mean? So
the next start of the week would then be Thursday. It would then be Thursday at that point.
The work week is Tuesday.
So the NFL has it, for example, week 12 last week was running from November 23rd to the 29th.
And the 23rd was...
So they had Thanksgiving game.
23rd was Tuesday.
And this week, it also says November 30th. So today's Wednesday, obviously.
Wow, okay.
Tomorrow.
But I guess you're right, Q. I guess you were right.
So November 30th through December the 6th is
so they consider Wednesday.
The day after Monday night's game being the last game of the week.
Right. Because some teams don't play, obviously, that Thursday and Sunday.
So I guess we are into a new week. That whole question came from me wanting to say, are we in a new week or are we not in a new week? Because the Bills play this Thursday.
Tomorrow. But yeah, today officially starts week 13.
Okay.
November, what ESPN.com says with the NFL schedule.
And we played last Thursday too, so that's crazy.
Right.
It's all right. You know, be a character.
Right.
Going our timing off, our schedule.
I mean, but I guess this is fine, right? Because you still get your full 7 days. The issue is going to be next week and shit. You know what I mean? Because you already got y'all's bye.
Oh, yeah.
So next week is going to be short no matter how you cut it. Whether they put you on Monday night, Sunday night, it's going to be a short week.
Yeah. Back to that Sunday early game.
Yeah, how does that work? That's I'm thinking too much. Get out of my head.
Time been off, man. We gotta go all the way to Minnesota. We put up a fight though.
Listen.
Talk about that later. Let's get it. Yeah.
We can talk about it. We can hop right into it.
Well, you get your extended days off though. You know, you play Thursday. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right. There you go. You right.
So, you pick it back up.
But it's weird. We've been playing on Sundays. Now we playing on Thursday, 2 in a row, and then we got to go back
to Sunday. But shit, I mean, the day of the week shouldn't matter.
Nope.
You supposed to be able to serve niggas up on Monday, Thursday, or Sunday.
I'm serving niggas from Sunday to Sunday. That's all I
For my podcast listeners, this nigga just walked in holding a wine glass and a bottle of wine as he said that.
It's a celebration when they say, I believe, not to jump the gun, but I believe if the Eagles win this week, I believe they clinch not only their playoff spot, but I think they might clinch home field advantage. I think I could be wrong on that.
I don't know. Minnesota kind of on you though, ain't it?
Hell no, they're not even. I think they're like a game, but wait a minute.
Yeah, they're a game behind. They're 9-2.
No. They're more than a game. They lost to us and the Cowboys.
So right. So right. In your division, right.
Mm-hmm. So. Right now,
I feel like it's gonna come down to y'all, though.
Yeah, looking at it, do they have
their game back? I mean, you know.
Yeah, they are a game back. Q's right. So we're 10-1 and they're 9-2. Okay.
Right. But but then comes conference situations, right? Because if they did lose to the Cowboys, although they're just a game back to you on the overall record, they would be at least a game back in the conference.
Yeah,
because conference wins matters, or division. I say it backwards all the time. Right. The division though, division wins matter more than the overall season wins do.
Well, they're 3-0.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
When it comes down to the nitty gritty,
right? To your conference situation. So Malcolm is somewhat right, even though they are a game back. And it looks like it will, because Dallas is still holding strong.
They're 8-3.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a situation with all y'all on the top like that, where they are going to have to hold division wins and losses in there.
See, that's crazy because I said something in the chat the other day, and I'll kind of say it again. I guess it's the NFC South is like the NFC least now.
Right.
You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-6. I'm looking first in their division, about to make the playoffs. That's crazy.
That's bad for them too.
Right.
That's bad for them, but we'll get to that. Right now, we focusing on this Patriots Vikings. How you feel about that game, CT? I don't think you actually.
I mean, 26-33. We put up a fight.
And y'all had a chance at the end of the game when Mac Jones threw that ball to the middle of the field. I think that just came from. I mean, you didn't really have much time, right?
We did, and we let Adam Thielen do a lot on the offensive end of the game. I was just I don't know.
I don't. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was just to finish my thought when I say I don't think you had enough time. Y'all didn't have no timeouts left. There was no next play on the clock after that. So
we had a out on close delayed calls. I was like, man.
Yeah, so the fact that he threw that ball over the middle like that, I just kind of feel like.
And we really ain't got nobody to throw it to if you think about it. Like,
whoa.
I feel like that was a stat situation, though, because everybody knows you got no time on the clock. What do? You go Brett Favre. Everybody run to the end zone. I throw this up. He had time.
It shouldn't have came to that, though.
Well, yeah, like CT said, it was a lot of.
Well, what I was going to say is the drive prior to that, right? They had a 4th and 16 or a 3rd and 7 on the Minnesota no, even before that. There was a 3rd and 7 at the 30, and Mac Jones takes a sack right before the 2-minute warning. You can't do that. You can't do that.
It was like 4th down and 4th and 17. We hit the punter. We roughed the punter. They go down and score after that. We gave him 15 yards in the ball back.
Yeah.
And then they go score. I was like, oh my God.
But you can expect that at the NFL level.
True.
You know what I'm saying? When you give up a situation like that, it already gives a motherfucker their second win. Like, we back in this bitch, boys, you know what I mean? And now you going to be facing a different version than you were those quarters up to.
20-yard line, you know what I'm saying, from the go in, like for sure. Either that or kick a 3, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I was disappointed we did little stupid errors like that.
And y'all both quarterbacks held up too.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins threw for 81.1% completion, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for a 116.1 rating. If he didn't throw that 1 touchdown, he'd have had Trevor Lawrence numbers. It's crazy that you can say that though. But Trevor Lawrence had the high QBR I saw this week. I didn't look at every quarterback's QBR, but I looked at a whole gang of them, and I didn't see no QBR higher than that. But we'll get to that too. Mac Jones, 71.8% completion, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 119.8 rating. He did his thing.
That's some good football.
He did his thing. And Aguilar, I saw him out there helping out.
He didn't even start. He was like, he didn't even start.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what y'all doing with him, but he ain't no scrub. I don't know why he's not out there.
Hunter Henry looked a little decent when we threw it to him, but I don't know why we stopped the second half.
Adjustments. It's adjustments, man. Minnesota has those guys, those safeties they can put over the middle. And
still find ways to get these guys the ball somehow. They get Jefferson the ball.
That makes me think.
I mean, when it comes.
Go. What was you about to say, Q?
No, I was gonna say when it comes to mind to me, I mean, you have 2 guys on your team that I know personally can go get the ball, and that's Devontae Parker and Jacoby Myers. They can go get the rock. They will go up and get it.
Jacoby was getting smacked.
That's game plan right there.
He was getting lit up every time he caught the ball.
Yeah, I really don't have nothing. I really don't have nothing for the Patriots. Like it's a like, and like you said, they're not. It's not like they're not doing well, right? And the defense is going to be the defense. Bill Belichick's still there, but whatever's going on the offense isn't quite right. You know what I mean? Like, it's good enough. No, I wouldn't even say enough, but it's good enough to keep your job, but it's not quite there yet. You know, because when you got a defense that's performing like that, the offense has to put up the points. They have to. And regardless of how good your defense is, some teams are going to put up points on your defense. Some are, regardless of how good you are. Matchups matter. Certain matchups do different shit. So if your offense can't keep up, and I'm not saying like they can't keep up, but y'all are currently sitting at 6-5. And we know from watching a lot of those losses y'all took came on the offensive end.
Defense
has blown situations, but I don't think they've blown games. I think the offense is just not producing. At the beginning of the season, you didn't know what quarterback you wanted to go with.
If we didn't play the Vikings that game, we probably would have won.
If you didn't play the Vikings.
Yeah, when you put up that many points and stuff like that, you normally come out with the dub. But so they just came by with one. Special teams kind of blew us that game, though, when you look at it all.
I don't know if you can say that, especially off this week, if you put up 26.
You got to get off the field on 4th down.
Because there's at least 2 teams I can think of that had 33 and still lost the game. So when you playing like with Seattle and
was close, maybe lost by 6 or 7.
Right.
Well, it says there was an overturned touchdown by Hunter Henry in that game against the Vikings. It says Patriots tight end Hunter Henry on overturned touchdown versus Vikings. I believe I caught it.
Oh, there was a one on the 1 yard. It was
so the play calling, Cliff. So I didn't see the game, but it sounds like there was
one. He caught the ball.
Play calling.
No, they said something like they said it's touchback or something. They
gave he lost control of the ball before.
No, he getting it across the plane. There was a picture like him crossing the plane.
Yeah, but you know they being a lot stricter on possession this year that I've noticed. And even though the ball crosses the plane, they looking for a reason. So if you don't have firm possession as the ball crosses the plane, was that really a touchdown type shit is what they feeling. Now,
I think the commentators and everybody was saying like that was a touchdown, but
I can't remember that play.
It's got to be on the tube for sure.
Yeah.
On the tube.
Yeah, I can't remember that play, and we watched that game.
They screwed us a couple of times. Listen, we blew that game for sure. I don't know. That was but we got next week to we got tomorrow to come back and show Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Buffalo, what we got?
Right.
Yeah, get us a win, man. We need that win from y'all.
Patriots need it. Fuck. Patriots need it. Fuck as you said. But that Vikings run back. That kickoff return in the third quarter, that's what did it.
That's what I'm saying. Special teams killed us.
You right. Yeah, you right about that. Between the punt situation and
out of fourth down, like roughing the kicker. You normally don't see that from us. So I was like, what are we on? Dude, try to block a punt? What are you doing?
I know Belichick was shitting bricks.
He was hot.
I know there was steam coming out of his motherfucking ears.
And all dude was taking it, like, because he knew he was like, what am I doing? Like, they gave up a touchdown too, so that definitely put the cherry on top.
I mean, the Patriots don't really have any superstars on their team, though.
That's what I said. Like,
but whenever.
What do you mean whenever?
Whenever they, like, aside from Tom Brady, whenever have they had superstars? I mean, I guess you could say Gronk.
Hold on. Time out. Are we serious right now?
No, I know you're.
Hold on. Richard Simmons, Vince Wilfork, Gronk, Randy Moss, Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, you always bring up,
Gilmore.
Hold on. Who was my Deion Branch?
Yeah, Stephon Gilmore.
Do we remember who Deion Branch is, y'all?
Wes Welker.
Oh yeah,
right. So what are you?
But at the same time, I don't. Because
Deion won the MVP of a Super Bowl. Q.
Yeah, but I wouldn't give him a superstar though.
Listen, but
that was one Super Bowl. The next season, he didn't put up those numbers.
I think we are confusing superstars with people who became superstars while on the Patriots. Because that's what the Patriots have more of, are players that fit into that system well and blew up under it.
Yeah.
That's what they have a lot more of, because Bill Belichick has a way of taking players that aren't considered your superstars and making them work to the point that you're like, why didn't the fuck we didn't notice Wes Welker before?
And what coordinators did Bill Belichick have when those players became superstars? He had the Charlie White. He had who was my boy, Romeo Crennel.
Yeah.
He had who you guys took,
Josh
McDaniels. So when he don't have at least a cast of coordinators, those guys don't become superstars. They become just players. You know what I mean? Point. He's got to have a supporting. To your point, Cliff, I agree. It doesn't really matter who Belichick has.
He makes them look good.
Has the coordinators,
right?
To have,
not so much on defense because he covers that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But offense is always like, without the Tom Brady, it's a struggle, right? Because you went, and I'm not hating on Mac Jones. I do think Mac Jones is an exceptional young quarterback. I do too. Now that I've seen him in the league, I do too. But going from a Tom Brady to a Mac Jones is a very, very high drop off.
We had to get a draft pick. So yeah,
that's a very high drop off, and that's give Mac Jones time. You know, he may be. I'm not gonna say he's on a Brady level, but you know what I'm saying. He may close the gap a lot. But right now, as young as he is, that's a very big drop off to the point that your OCs have to pick up that weight. You didn't have to work as hard when Tom Brady was there, because he'll see some shit and call something else.
He took us to the playoffs last year.
Right.
That's what I was going to bring up. Mac Jones.
But last year you also had Josh too.
Right.
Y'all still had Josh.
That's exactly what I was about to say. You have a second year quarterback with a new offensive coordinator. So
the coordinator went to offensive coordinator.
Your defensive coordinator went to offensive coordinator?
For real?
Yeah. The Detroit. Remember, he was the Detroit Lions coach for a year. Dude with the beard.
Patricia?
Yeah, Matt Patricia.
Yes.
Well, you got Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, two defensive
But
guys.
Matt Patricia has already worked with Belichick in the past.
He's been there for a while too. Yeah.
A lot of them guys come back when they fail as head coaches.
But why does he do it at the offensive
Right,
coordinator?
like that's weird though.
That's how you run the Belichick army, man. At the end of the day, you're using Bills. You're using Bills game plan and Bills playbook. You're not using that.
Bills just said, "Call what I call." Just say what I say.
Nah, that is the truth. That is the truth.
Bill in the head said like this: "Hey, 1B." No, 1B. No audible 1B.
Listen. But I guess that's what I'm saying though. When you got a Brady in your backfield under your center, he like, fuck 1B, Bill, you don't see what I see. Audible. Mac Jones ain't doing that. Mac Jones is going to throw the ball directly over the middle with no time left in the fourth quarter. And that's why I was like, well, wait a minute. Like,
he was looking left, right. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where shit get wild. I will agree with you there. But
when we gave up that punt, that was a kickoff. It was
that kickoff return. It was a kickoff return in the third quarter.
Start the third, yeah.
Wait a minute, oh shit!
Whoa!
I just wanted to make sure our audio was right, and I must got my speaker on in the background. That's a speaker.
Watch out, fans.
That's the speaker I use when I'm listening while I'm at work. Move on from the Patriots. We'll move on. Like I do think y'all got a tough matchup coming up with the Bills. Divisional situation too.
They a little banged up. We got to take advantage of them.
You said it. You said it exactly. That's exactly the case. That's exactly the case. Y'all better take advantage of that right now. Although I will say that though Josh Allen is banged up, he ain't playing like it. Like, yeah, his decision making is still poor. But as far as the physical, like looking at him physically running the ball, even how he slings it sometimes, he doesn't look hurt. But I also think he's the kind of motherfucker that'll just fight through it.
With the Wyoming, man.
So you get smacked.
Who goes to Wyoming?
Nigga, that motherfucker gets smacked 3 times a game and just get up.
But I'm just saying, and he got in.
Until he gets smacked right. I understand what you said. But
he ain't. Wait till he play a San Francisco defense, a Dallas defense. Somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Miami again.
Right.
That's somewhat correct, but you're right. But I don't think that's going to stop him. You know what I mean? Certain players would be like, "Nah, I'm weary. I'm not running because my shoulder hurts." He's like, "Fuck it, head down. I'm still leading my team in rushing yards."
Right.
Old in New England too.
That shit he's used to.
Yeah.
That shit he's used to. The only thing that may throw it off is the fact that he had 2 back-to-back games in Detroit. Right? And Detroit got the dome.
Yeah.
So now you going to New England. It may be fucked up there. Weather may be fucked up.
The only good thing that they did do was they did travel back to Buffalo to make sure they did their practice right there. So.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you still gotta check back in with your family and shit anyway.
I mean, regardless of checking back in with your family, I think it's more so don't get soft on me. Don't enjoy this dome when you know where we're from. So let's go back so we don't lose that edge of liking the play. Well, not liking the play, but being used to playing in a colder situation.
Yeah.
They said OBJ is supposed to go visit the Bills on Friday, is what Von Miller said. They like those chickens.
They said the Beckham Bowl is a bust?
They said that after the I know we didn't talk about it, but after the plane incident that Beckham got into, I guess the Cowboys might have fell back on him, as well as the Giants potentially.
Thank you.
Von Miller was saying, this is why I told y'all, even before the airplane incident, he said, don't just think it's the Cowboys and the Giants. He said, I've been told y'all Beckham was going to come to Buffalo, and he said he's probably not going to want to leave. He said, I guarantee he's going to come, he's going to want to stay. He said he comes here Friday, just wait and see. But after that airplane incident, I still don't know what happened, by the way. I've seen the stories, but I still don't get what really happened.
I don't really know much about it.
He was on a plane, and he got kicked off the plane, and due to him not being like, I don't know, like just not following the rules, they shut down the plane, CT, like they stopped flight or didn't take flight. It was a whole ordeal. Like they had to escort him off the plane and shit. And passengers were pissed, like, damn, Beckham, you got our plane stalled and shit. But I don't know if he was like intoxicated. That's what I don't understand. Like, was he intoxicated? Was he just not being? He wasn't being They said he wasn't like he was in and out of consciousness on the plane.
Yeah, and he refused to leave because they asked him to.
Was he intoxicated? Was he high? Like was he
tired? He just could have been tired, or maybe he was off of prescriptions.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still in recovery, right? Like I may still have some old pills from my recovery, or like because when I was getting my shoulder shit, I didn't take that shit how the bottle said.
See,
so I had a whole lot left over even after. So when I was hurting after, I would take them because the bottle say take them every 4 hours. I might take 1 a day, 2 a day, maybe.
Well,
one when I wake up, one when I go to sleep. So that means that half of that prescription is still available, at a later date. So even though he popped it way back in the Super Bowl, that don't mean that he's still, and you know how NFL doctors are, is it still bad? We can get you something to get you back in training camp.
Right.
So you never know the situation.
Yeah, watch out for that Brett Favre nigga.
But I wouldn't just immediately jump to illegality. You know what I'm saying?
He popped a good perk before he got on the flight.
And that could have been exactly what it was, and that motherfucker kicked in.
Go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, it started with them trying to wake him up to fasten his seatbelt. And they basically, his attorney said it was an overzealous flight attendant. So,
and that could be, you know what I mean? Maybe she's a Dallas fan, and she was like, "Oh, you ain't interested, or you are interested? Maybe she got some inside information for that plane landing and was like, fuck, what's going on? You buckle your seat? You ain't buckling? Get off the plane."
Could be.
You never know.
That's crazy.
Never know. That's all I'm saying. But let's go. We talking about it. Let's go to the Bills-Lions game.
Good football game.
That was a great football game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about it. Yeah, Josh Allen, another interception in the red zone. On the first drive of the second half.
Yeah.
Inside the 20, first drive of the second half, another interception in the red zone. And that's why I say it's his decision making in there. But if you look at him physically playing the game, other than some wild throws it's like his what's target radius isn't quite what it was before, I will say. But I also said he was highballing motherfuckers before his shoulder got hurt. So maybe this is just, I don't know. But something's not right. Something's not right there. He threw for 57.1% completion, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception with an 80.8 QBR.
And ran the ball 10 times for 78 yards and a score.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Ain't slow down.
The running is a different, and he got cracked a few times.
He was running that motherfucker though.
I won't say cracked, but he got hit pretty good a few times, and he just hops right up.
Yeah. To me, he is really Tebow 2.0. Like if Tebow can throw the rock, that's Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tebow would do the same. He's gonna run it.
But he's not really built like a fullback either. Motherfuckers say he a fullback with an arm, but he's not built like a fullback.
No, he's just big.
I don't know. Even when he's in the the pack, like where the linemen try to push you forward and the defense got you stood up, his head be head and shoulders above everybody else, like whole helmet above the pack while everybody else is pushing him. I'm like, God damn, that's a big boy, man.
That's a Jokic. That's the Jokic of football, man. Like
you may be right.
See him coming, you got him, but you don't.
Right, you may be right. That may be a spot on comparison.
Cause you see how slow Jokic is on the court. He's slow, but he gonna give you a triple double.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not that Josh Allen is slow. He's just definitely not the fastest rushing quarterback.
But I guarantee you though that shit hurts the defense when that contact connect. That shit sting a little bit.
Sometimes
like he ain't moving, but it stings.
Sometimes and maybe it's just that warrior mentality, because that's a part of it too. Especially from fighting. Them punches hurt, but let you wince and see how hard they come after that. Let you show a motherfucker that last one got you and see if they don't go in for the knockout. It's the same with football. Let you get up slow and see if they don't muster up enough strength to hit you a bit harder the next time. Because now I got to pick on you. You know, it's like a shark with blood. Oh, are you weakening? Now I got to pick on you.
Mm-hmm.
That also reminds me of Derrick Henry when he had his coming out party. And, he's running up the middle all game long, beat up. Then late third quarter, heading into the fourth quarter, he throws a guy with one hand like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You ain't wore me down, baby. Now your eyes done got big again. Like, hold on, man.
Right. Man.
That's Josh Allen to me.
Man.
It's like, hold on. He won't stop coming.
He's one of them motherfuckers where he can punish you offensively. He's one of them motherfuckers that you see stumbling around that corner and you like, fuck. It's just me and him. And if I go too low, the nigga's gonna do that ugly ass splits over me and make me look dumb as well. That's a tough situation. You gotta get that boy some peas. Especially him fighting through injuries. I will give him that. But he slid by with that performance because Jared Goff put up 62.2% completion, 240 yards, 2 interceptions, or 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 98.9 QBR.
You still got Jared Goff on your fantasy team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You started Carr?
I don't know who I started this week. That's a good question. Was it Carr? I don't know.
I think it was.
I can check.
I was team watching this week.
Oh, you mean this past week that happened, or this week coming up?
Past week.
This past week I did start Carr and he gave me 22, I believe.
I'm about to say, I know you like Goff usually over Carr. I'd be surprised when you start Carr over Goff.
Well, that was an executive decision because Goff was going against the Bills, right? And I didn't know how much of a firefight he would put up.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't give me 22. He gave me 20. Carr gave me 20.8. Goff gave me 17.6. So ultimately, I made the right decision, but I wouldn't have got that win without Josh Jacobs. But we'll get into that too. But yeah, since we talking fantasy, to all my podcast listeners, took down number 1 for my comeback. This is the start of my comeback, and I want y'all to know
I see you. You right there. You right there now. Understand
Cliff over here. Cliff sure was mad after week 1, wasn't he? Oh, I was falling asleep.
Oh, man.
I didn't get to pick who I wanted.
No, it wasn't nothing about mad. It wasn't nothing about mad. I felt like fuck, man.
You felt slighted a little bit.
It wasn't by anybody. It was just by the timing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 2 days out of surgery. I'm all drugged up while we running this long ass draft, falling asleep over here. Shit.
Right.
I half the time, I honestly bet probably half of the players that I got were picked for me because I was asleep at the time. It was my turn, and it was like, you just got
so.
But it's all right. I'm right there on my first real draft. I'll say that, or real fantasy.
Right.
I didn't get to do it the first time I tried. But that ain't what we here for. Where we at?
Well,
we was talking about the Bills. And for my shower heads, that was the Bills' victory over the Lions 28-25.
And Von Miller has a lateral meniscus tear. So he's supposed to
get carted off.
Yeah,
he did get carted off.
But he did his podcast the other night. He looked like he's
in good spirits.
Right. But he's a tough motherfucker, it seemed like. So it's hard to tell certain motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You can tell he's.
But I mean, they cart you off regardless of if you sitting up on that cart or laying down. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, he said it. He said the worst fear was that they thought it was his ACL tear, but it wasn't. So he thinks he'll be back. I don't know when, but he'll be back.
Right. I'm sure they shooting shit in his knee as we speak.
Right. Take this.
But I will say that dumbass safety call. Did y'all see that? In that Lions game?
Nope.
That Lions Bills, it was the safety. I can't remember what quarter it was, but it was the Lions had the ball on the 2 yard line, and they call a shotgun instead of a run to give them some space. And Jared Goff takes the safety in the end zone.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
Y'all like Dan Campbell, not me.
And that's what I was just about to say. I love him to death, but I don't know whose call that was. Dan. That was an awful call.
Dan, we're gonna rip their arms off.
But you know what? I'm not against what you were trying to do, right? But you gotta understand, you on the one line, they got they ears pinned back. They coming in like torpedoes if you think they ain't. So whatever shotgun it was, it better be a 2 yard comeback for all receivers to be available instantly. And I don't know what they called receive routes wise, but that was not it. And he had a little bit before he went down. I mean, they was coming, but he had a little bit of time, so I know if they were quick hitches, he could have hit somebody. I don't know what was going on with that.
And I know they watch game film, right? So you just saw mismechanics with Josh Allen the week prior, taking the safety or actually fumbling the ball. You know,
well, that
how critical it is. You know what I mean?
That may have helped the decision. Like, you seen the quarterback sneak that the Buffalo did, so let's try to pass it.
Jared Goff ain't that quick.
I agree with you there. But he can be a quick strike, but it just, I don't know what they called. I really don't know what they called. I don't know what play that was. I would like to know, the actual play that was called. Like, and I don't care if it's a whole sentence long. I want to know the letters and routes for, like, what were they running that it took him that long he had to take that safety? And I don't mean like long, like he had hella time, but he had enough to get it off.
It'll be on the next Hard Knocks.
They
ain't doing no Lions Hard Knocks for a while. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's the Cardinals now.
They ain't doing no Lions Hard Knocks in a while. But yeah, the fact that well, first of all, let me rewind. 17-14 into the half. Going into the second half, that kick, well, the fourth quarter, that kick that the Lions kicker, I can't think of his name.
Hey Siri, who's the Lions kicker?
Damn, that's gonna drive me crazy.
It just says Hashtag player. They're ignorant.
Regardless, that motherfucker kicks curveballs. Cause that motherfucker, you saw that?
Michael Bagley, he's from the University of Miami.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Man, that motherfucker kicks curveballs.
Google.
Yeah, Michael Badgley. Yeah.
That's sad. Yeah, Michael Wright. Yep.
Listen, he kicked one. And
that was nasty.
Yeah, you saw that?
It was outside, and right before it got there.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then the fact that Buffalo got that kick with 20 seconds left on the clock, I was just like, man, it was a good game. That was a good game. I'm not going to take nothing from that game.
That's why I say about Buffalo that Buffalo don't scare me, because Buffalo,
they've been struggling.
They've had too many close games this season. Too many.
They've been struggling, but they've also, it's not just lately.
No, it's all.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. Since that Miami loss,
they won week 1, right? But they've been struggling all. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that Miami loss kicked it off. Let them know they wasn't everything they thought they was, and then, like I said, what did I say? I don't know if I said it on the podcast. Yeah, no, I said it on last week's podcast. I said that's Miami was Craig.
Oh, yeah, we was over at Mike's house.
And everybody was like, oh, Craig beat your ass. We ain't scared of you now. Now Miami taking L's. Buffalo taking L's.
Listen.
But that was a great game, I will say that.
Good Thanksgiving football, man.
Yeah, it was. Let's keep it on Thanksgiving. What was the last one?
Giants Cowboys.
It was the Giants Cowboys.
I should have started. No, I did. I think I did start Elliott. Elliott went off on Thanksgiving.
Man, I started Pollard. Yeah, they was giving Elliott a lot of looks. Because I started Pollard, and he gave me 8.7 or some shit like that. Meanwhile, Miles Sanders put up 34.
Right. That was crazy.
I can't be mad. I still got the win, but...
He was number 2 in fantasy points this week.
Who?
Miles Sanders?
Yep, Miles Sanders.
From the running back position?
Yep, and Jalen Hurts was 3.
I
forget who was 1.
You know who was 1?
Who?
Josh Jacobs with the big...
Oh, yeah.
5'5".
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Yeah. You know who was number 1.
He's nasty.
Man, that motherfucker put up almost more yards than his quarterback. How the fuck? Yeah, he running the ball. But,
yeah, the Cowboys-Giants.
I'm trying to remember that game.
What? Giants?
I definitely didn't write all that down.
Cowboys pulled it out.
Yeah, they definitely did. Damn.
I didn't watch it, but I know it was a closer game than I had anticipated or something.
Now I'm questioning myself. Did I watch that? What game was that? Was that the last game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I started it, but I didn't watch it.
What the fuck is this?
No, wait.
No, that was the second game of the day.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the last game? The Pats Vikings?
Yeah, the Pats Vikings was the night game.
You're right. Yep.
So that was what I watched some of, but I don't remember. For some reason, I am not remembering the Cowboys Giants game.
Probably wasn't that memorable.
2028.
Hey, it was Thanksgiving, man.
Right, but that's all we was doing was watching the game.
I mean, they had a good game this year, but I'm saying traditionally the Raiders and the Lions have always played on Thanksgiving, but that didn't mean it was a good game.
The Raiders ain't played on Thanksgiving.
I said traditionally the Raiders and the Lions, for example, would play on Thanksgiving, but that doesn't mean it's a good game. Not every Thanksgiving game, because it's Thanksgiving, it's a good game. I've seen a lot of throwaway Thanksgiving games over the years.
I mean, clearly it was a good game or a decent game. It was 2028, but I just can't remember. I do remember that keep giving the ball to Zeke. I do remember that. Because I kept saying, why the fuck aren't they giving it to Tony Pollard?
Because they use them they're smart, right?
I do remember CeeDee Lamb with a drop. I remember seeing that, an open drop over the middle. Not over the middle, but the side. It was, you know what I'm saying. But what were you saying, Mount?
I'm just saying it's smart to switch it up, though. You don't want everybody to know week in, week out who the go-to guy is. Plus, they have different strengths between Pollard and Zeke. So maybe, based off a New York scheme and their defense, they thought that Elliott would be more feasible that game than a Pollard. I don't know.
I mean, let's see what stats he got that game.
I know he had 2 touchdowns because, like I said,
he had 1 touchdown.
He only had 1?
Yeah, it says 16 attempts, 92 yards, 5.8 average, 1 touchdown, 1 reception.
Oh, I thought he had 2. Yeah, I know
he had 2 last week against Minnesota.
That's what it was. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That was only off of 42 yards, too.
Mm-hmm.
That was that week that Tony Pollard went off, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, I still rather have Pollard over Elliott, me personally, but I know you have to switch it up because you're paying Elliott all that money. You got to do something with him,
We was talking, matter of fact, that's how I know we was watching that game, because we was talking about it at Thanksgiving, whether Zeke is staying there next year.
Well, who else going to pick him up as a starter?
I mean, everybody out there was like, he's not giving enough production to keep. Regardless, I said the only reason they would keep him is because that was Jerry Jones's guy, and he don't want to look stupid. But that's what they said too. But he hasn't gotten a game over 100 yards yet this season.
Right. Ezekiel Elliott is kind of reminding me of the end of Le'Veon Bell's career. Started off hot, quick, do this, do that. Now it's just like you're a shell of yourself. For the most part. Now, I'm saying Zeke is faring better still than Le'Veon.
Right.
We stopped seeing Le'Veon, but I'm just saying, there's a big drop-off. Y'all went from one of the best running backs in the league, they were saying, to...
Nah, he was. He was for a hot minute. Mm-hmm. One of.
Right.
But now it's like, damn, my nigga.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Zeke. I mean, like you said, he came out of Ohio State. They acted like he was going to be, I don't know.
That's the most yards he got. I mean, he was a dog at Ohio State, but that's the most yards he got this season is the 92 off of 16 attempts.
Yeah, I think Zeke's is mental. Has to be.
He's just coming off an injury, too, I think. So he'll get it going.
Fuck that. Every man, what's the excuse every year? He really ain't had a good season since that first or second one?
They look like they on a good road. If he start getting it going in the playoffs, it's all he needs a good 3 games.
Hell, motherfucking analysts are finally agreeing too that Jalen Hurts has passed up Dak Prescott. These motherfuckers ain't it, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. These motherfuckers is decent, so. Every blue moon give you a good game. But these motherfuckers ain't it game in, game out, man. They're not. None of them.
None of them.
That's what I'm talking about.
Go through your list there. Who's Dak cool?
I love Dak. I hate to say that. I do like
I thought you was about to go through a list, Malcolm. All of them that came. I know you gotta throw Carr in that mix, but even Dak's over him.
Right, Dak is.
I don't care what you say. Statistically, Carr beats him out, but that doesn't mean that Dak ain't over Carr, in my opinion.
Well, he stays healthier than Dak, so I might want the...
That's because he won't take a hit. He won't take a run. He won't do
nothing.
What you want.
That's what you... I don't want...
Why is that what I want? And Raiders are currently sitting at 4-7.
Well, listen.
With Devontae Adams, your best friend.
Well, that's because there's different factors with that. There's several different factors with the Raiders situation, but I mean, like you said, Jalen Hurts, that's my boy. But like the way he plants sometimes, I think he's gonna break his leg or his ankle one of these damn days. Like,
well, I thought that's you. Don't speak it. Isn't that what you said? Don't speak it. I've been saying I don't like that motherfucking cut.
I mean, don't speak it, but if you don't change your mechanics up, bro, it's gonna be inevitable.
I haven't seen it as much though lately.
I seen it 2 weeks ago. I watched a vicious plant that I thought was finna. Matter of fact, I don't know if it was last game too. There was one plant or hit. I think it was a plant where he was like slow to get up a little bit, and I was like, oh fuck, man, like he needs to slide more. Someone needs to show him how to slide.
Yeah, you ain't built like Josh.
You ain't built like Josh. You ain't. You faster than Josh, but you ain't built like.
I mean, the motherfucker, they said it on the Travis Kelce and them's podcast. The motherfucker squatting with the lineman squat.
Now they did say
so he's confident he can trucky, keep going, and you know what I'm saying.
Well, they do say Jalen Hurts is one of the strongest dudes on the team, though, especially with squatting. They did. He's a tank, but he's still not no Josh Allen. No,
he used to be a power lifter.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Dallas and New York. I mean, that's a good game. One of them's going to finish second in the conference. I mean, division. But I don't know. I ain't too worried about them niggas though.
Yeah, what division are the Vikings in?
North.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ain't got nobody to deal with.
Nobody.
Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay. Boo.
Green Bay, ain't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to transition to it, but Jordan Love didn't look too bad at the end of the game when they put him in. About damn time. I told you, clip about your boy Aaron. I try to tell you, man. I don't care what you say, bro. Aaron ain't it, bro. I'm not a pull up his stats. Aaron is not it. I get you said the target
this year,
but hold on. At the same time, Watson been going on, regardless of if it's Love or Rodgers at quarterback.
He just started. Christian Watson, yeah, he just started.
Past couple weeks though, like
right. He's been catching his rhythm.
Yeah, like he's doing his.
And Allen Lazard been falling off. I don't understand that because he was putting up good numbers for me on fantasy, and then now it's like I'm praying the nigga get 12, 11.
Aaron Rodgers had 68.8% completion against Philly on the 27th, 140 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 95.8 QB rating.
And I was wondering how he got that QB rating.
95.8?
Yeah, off of that game. 150 yards.
140.
But regardless, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and you putting up a 95 QBR? How the fuck does that happen?
Short passes.
That's high though. Like why? That's high to me.
Pull up his stats that game and see.
95.8.
Okay, yeah, on that game.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he was 11 for 16. That's why he was 11 for 16. But yeah, why would his rating be? I see what you're saying. Yeah, because he only.
And you threw 2 interceptions. You threw 2 touchdowns. Right. You threw 2 interceptions, and you didn't put up any yards. And you still up there at a 95.8.
Yeah, something ain't right.
I don't know how about that.
I don't know how they can figure that shit.
I don't know about that at all.
And then
especially considering, listen, this is considering Jalen Hurts threw 57.1% completion, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, rushed for 157 yards, and got a 96.3. How does that work? And he got the win. No interceptions. You may have threw a few more, incomplete passes, but no interceptions. And I put up running back numbers on the rushing.
Well, did you see Jordan Love's rating?
Nah, what was it?
146.8.
Trevor Lawrence still beat him.
6 for 9, 113, and 1 touchdown.
Jordan Love is looking good.
146.
Oh no, he didn't beat him. Trevor Lawrence didn't beat him.
Yeah, Jordan Love was looking good when
but you don't have a large enough sample size for me to consider that.
I mean, I'm not talking. I didn't say that he's gonna be like one of the greatest. No. I'm just saying when you finally put him in against you got to think the Eagles' defense is no small feat, Cliff.
No.
In the league,
and I wasn't saying I'm hating on him at all. I'm just saying for you to have a 146, that just lets me know you weren't in the game long enough.
Yeah, it was towards the end.
Right.
Really the very, very end.
That's all I was saying. I'm not saying he isn't going to be good, or you better be something for as long as time you had to study.
Right.
The fuck? How many years this nigga been behind Aaron? 4?
Couple now.
Hey, some niggas can't study. Ask Kyler Murray.
Well, this nigga went through high school. You hear a whole 4 years of high school before he got to step on the field for real. So he better know something, Jordan. That's all I'm saying. But congrats for getting that 146. I'm just saying that more time is tougher. Trevor Lawrence put up a 129.8, but he was also playing all 4 quarters against the Ravens. That's impressive as fuck.
Yeah, he picked it up a lot that second half, man.
That's impressive as fuck. I was impressed with him, and even his arm. Like, you remember, were you on the podcast? No, you weren't, Q. Malk, do you remember when we were on the podcast when it was me, you, my dad, Mike was on it, Mike Brown. Who else was on that? We was talking about, you on mute.
Go ahead.
And you was talking, and we was talking about the running backs or the quarterbacks coming into the league, and they were saying that Trevor Lawrence has the best arm mechanics out of any of them. And I was saying I can see what they're talking about from the what was it, the pro day or whatever they did. Like, if you can, and that game was a game where it gave me flashbacks to his pro day, where those balls were just looking right. Motherfuckers don't throw the ball like that. Like that, even on the run, he was dotting motherfuckers, and I was like, there's no way that that's not impressive. There's no way that people aren't looking like that's an amazing pass, especially out of a young buck like that.
It's a top 10 defense. Apparently, the Ravens, I believe, are a top 10 defense right now. Like, they're like at 10. So, I mean, yeah, it's a top 10 defense. So, I mean, yeah, that's not too bad. Now, I still don't think, I don't know. I like Lawrence, but I don't think he'll be I don't think he's going to be anything special.
I don't know. I don't know about that one, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree either.
If you look at that final drive, he was dotting.
Right, 2-minute drill. A real life 2-minute drill.
Like, it was all ball placement because the defenders were there. It was all ball placement. He was dotting. I like what I saw. Yeah,
and
real confidence.
Because some of them balls that he was throwing, even that last one to get him the touchdown.
Yeah.
Where he had his leg inbounds. That ball was perfectly placed. Even the 2-point conversion that was short out with Zay Jones. And they said that's the hardest pass to make is them outs, them short outs.
I just want to see those performances equivalent to wins. I think that's
did against the Ravens 28-27.
But I mean, what's their record overall, right?
4-7.
Right. You know what I mean? And you have a Super Bowl winning coach now. So,
but what can you say about the Ravens or the Raiders?
That's a totally different. First of all, all right. So if we start from top to bottom, okay. Mark Davis is the owner.
Yeah, he's hell.
He told Josh McDaniels, we said weeks ago, you're doing a fantastic job,
right.
And we know that's not the case,
right?
Josh McDaniels historically hasn't been the greatest head coach, although he might not be the worst. He's not the greatest, okay? Derek Carr, we know, has his own struggles, and Devontae's in a bad situation.
Right.
So to me, it's a little different. I feel like the Jacksonville has a lot of upside with Doug Peterson having won a ring before, Trevor Lawrence coming into
younger talent.
Right, but I want to see you. What I'm saying is, Dougie P, if you could win with Nick Foles, I know you could win with Trevor Lawrence. I know you can. So I want to see you equivalate those good performances with Trevor Lawrence into more wins. That's what I'm saying. Because I know Dougie P and them have it. They have it in them. They're not like trash by any means.
But it's also. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're looking at Jacksonville, and you got to remember from a year ago, this is a team that still, went through the Urban Meyer bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to correct the organization from top to bottom.
Right.
You know, kind of what Miami did when they brought in Brian Flores, et cetera, Chris Greer, all those guys. I mean, so this is that year. Now, next year, I don't want to see this shit.
Right.
You're Trevor.
Right.
You know, I see the progression. Now I want to see a playoff team next year.
You are right, because Dougie P didn't do what he did until, I believe, the second season with Philly. I believe that's when he started really getting them on that Super Bowl run, and that's when we, did what we did. So
Yeah.
And I was about to say, this is his first year with his hands on him for real. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And I'll give him that.
And it's been a drastic jump from last year's Jaguars to this year's Jaguars already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's impressive even, like, to the point that the Jaguars are on the level of the Lions. Like that I said, one of those teams that'll just beat you up. You're not ready, thinking you're going to run through them, and here they come.
Spoilers, yeah.
They even made that James Robinson trade mid-season.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they picked up Darrell Henderson like last week, so.
Oh, for real?
They did pick up Darrell Henderson. Yeah, the Rams got rid of him.
And the offense looks better.
I thought I saw him out there.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I don't know why the Rams literally
they released him.
Injured.
And I think the running back got hurt for the Jags, so I think he
made a big run, didn't he?
ETN got hurt. You're saying, CT?
Yeah.
He made a big run last week, if I'm remembering.
Oh, Darrell Henderson.
I
had released his ass from my fantasy team.
Because I remember wondering, like...
I said, fuck that. Then he got signed to the Jags, and I was like, damn, I might have should have kept him.
I mean, he was the leading rusher on the Rams. That made sense.
That's what I was confused. I was like...
Nah, it wasn't last week, then.
But not much.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Wait. Yeah, I'm tripping then. Wait. I don't know if they have his updated stats. Because the last game is November 20th
it was Hasty.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're thinking of Hasty.
That could be right.
He caught a touchdown, I think.
He caught a touchdown. They didn't get much from the running game in that game.
Yeah, not running.
38 yards total on 20 carries.
Zay Jones
That's
killed.
definitely not what I was. Yeah, you might be right there.
Hasty did a lot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
receiving the ball.
Zay Jones had 11 receptions, 145.
Nuts.
Yep, 29 yard long. But Trevor Lawrence with the 78.4% completion. 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 129.8.
And he almost killed their shot taking the sack as well. Yeah, buddy. He got
Which one? You talking about the one where he tried to throw the ball and the center had to fall on it?
Yeah. But that's what I mean as far as like at the end of the game, those are things that can't happen.
Well, he was
like you had time to throw it away.
He was trying to get it. He was trying to. I think that's the difference, is that he knew that he couldn't take the sack, and he was trying to get it out his hand. He just couldn't. And it made it a rough looking play. Don't get me wrong, but
I think eating Marcus Peters up.
Oh yeah, he was dialing him up on him with Marvin Jones Jr.
Man,
he was eating him up.
Who fell off?
Marcus Peters.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, he did.
Because he came from what team before he came to Baltimore? Did he come from?
Rams, Chiefs.
That's what I thought. Yeah, he fell off, man. He ain't. But that's just like Stephon Gilmore being on the Colts. He ain't the same as New England.
Right.
Not the same.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's harder for DBs to keep up the older they get.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's younger wide receivers coming out every year. And if you're an older DB, that meant that you used to be somebody, that we could put on an island and you're still in the league. Old corners don't really last long.
Yeah, because even Darrelle Revis retired. I don't remember what age he was, but yeah, Revis Island went for
Look
sale.
at Richard Sherman. He went to the 49ers and you didn't hear nothing from him.
Kept getting
And
hurt.
Tampa Bay. Don't forget Tampa Bay last year.
Did he go
Trying
to
to get
Tampa
that
Bay?
Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom brought him over.
Is
to
that what
Tampa.
I'm thinking, Tampa Bay?
Probably. That's the last team he played.
I thought he
for.
went to 49ers.
He
though.
did. He went to 49ers.
He did.
That was the first team from Seattle.
Okay, that's what I
They went to
thought.
the Super Bowl. Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But before
And then he
on-
went to Tampa Bay.
He did. He only got one,
Okay.
didn't he?
What ring?
He didn't do terrible.
Yeah, he
with
got with
Yeah,
Seattle
good one.
definitely, and he hadn't got
He
That
just
was
didn't-
it.
Been there at least
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. He been there like 6 times.
Super Bowl. What, Pro Bowl?
He's talking about the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowls? Yeah, I mean, been to a couple.
Well, I
That's
mean,
that-
Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't
His
win
face
him
is-
long.
Lost to Seattle.
His face is a gif of him when they didn't run the ball with Marshawn, and he got that weird looking.
Oh, right.
I don't know what face that was he made, but
Did y'all
a
did y'all hear-
Stanford face. He made a real Stanford face
Right.
out there.
Did y'all hear that Justin Jefferson passed Randy Moss for most receiving yards through the first 3 seasons?
Well,
That's
he had
another
been
record
doing
he
that.
broke.
He had been doing that seasonally, though.
Well, so that's another record he broke of his. So
But he
It's-
broke it on Thursday night. It says for the most receiving yards through a player's first 3 seasons.
he broke.
And his
some of
third
first
season
year
ain't even
season.
over, huh? Yeah.
But I
But
don't
he's
know.
been doing like they've been saying that annually.
I mean, yeah, but
Like he
I
broke
don't-
Randy Moss's receiving yards this year. Then the next year, he broke Randy Moss's receiving yards 2 consecutive years, and now we're in the 3rd year. And they're like,
But it's-
3 years, this nigga.
But here's my thing though. And I was thinking about this just I think last night, right? You got Trewaddle, Hughes Boy, you got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
Right,
All 3 were arguing who's the best out of young wide receiver.
right.
Or whatever.
Oh no, it's a by far.
Everybody would say, to be honest with y'all, if I'm being completely honest, I like Waddle the most out of all 3 of them. Because Justin Jefferson, I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase no more. Not consistent. I know the numbers say, for example, Justin Jefferson's consistent because he's breaking Randy Moss. I get that. But the math ain't mathing when you're losing 40-3 against the Cowboys. The math ain't mathing, bro. When you play the Eagles, locked you down.
It's
All
hard
I'm
to
saying-
say that though. It's hard to say that.
When Randy
Well-
was playing,
Well, we talking about Randy with the Vikings. That's the records he's breaking, right?
oh, okay.
Right,
That's-
right. But
Okay, well, you
But-
got to remember they had a running back in Robert Smith, so it's not like
And Michael
Randy Moss is
Carter.
just Chris Carter.
Or Chris
Right.
Carter, too.
Yep, you got to
Yeah.
think about it. The ball was spread it a little bit.
no, you're right. But I think that
Thielen ain't doing nothing.
Right,
exactly,
thank you.
and this is why I'm saying that. This is why I think it's more impressive, and why I give him a little
Man.
bit off when he.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got to take a little slack off of him when he doesn't perform, because this nigga does anything he wants to out there. So if you're not pressing that man, yes, he's gonna go off. There's nobody. See, Waddle has a heel.
Cliff, I keep saying, I don't know why. It is so rude that people do this. But just a year or two, I believe maybe 2 years ago,
Mhm.
Adam Thielen was one of the best or top wide receivers in the
What did
league.
you just say though?
2 years ago. What did CT? Would you say the other night against the Patriots? You said Thielen was going off, right? You said he was doing his thing, right?
He
So
hadn't been,
That doesn't matter. That's still
and he's coming off an injury, isn't he?
that's still somebody on the field that you
Yes,
have to-
he's coming off an injury.
Whether he does anything or not, that's still a decoy, is what I'm saying. You can't
Listen.
take your sight off of him.
Okay, right, but would you rather
Jalen
have a?
Reagor?
But wait, would you rather have? See, that's the thing though, because
What's the tight end? What's the tight end?
Hawkinson, right? I was about to say.
who they
Those
just
are
got,
Dalvin Cook.
2 games ago, who they just got. But my whole thing is this: Jalen Waddle is the decoy. You hear what I'm saying? You have a Tyreek Hill. who you just said was the best wide receiver in the league, right?
Right.
Is Thielen anywhere close to that? Is he anywhere close to that? Is he?
No. You have to account for. But you just like this.
But what I'm saying is that what I'm trying to finish is, if you know that Justin Jefferson can do anything out on this field, you think they ain't playing him like they used to play Devontae? You think they ain't? When they are, they are. Waddle, they can't. And I'm not taking anything away from Waddle, because remember, we had that conversation off screen, and I said, I think he's an all-star, a superstar now. I think he is. But the difference is, like you said, they have people to spread it out to in Miami. So it is impressive that he's still in your top 5 with receiving yards and all that. But the bottom line is, the Minnesota Vikings have Justin Jefferson.
You force feed him, but you got weapons on that.
The level of competition isn't impressive.
Well, now they have Hawkinson. Now they have Hawkinson. And you are correct about that. You're correct about that.
You did nothing against Philly.
Right.
Detroit, Saints, Bears, Cardinals, Commanders.
Yeah, you are right about that.
So hold on, Cliff.
That nigga dropped that Trump card.
I did.
Yeah, you are right about that. But I still don't know, man. I still don't know. Like, if you switch roles and put Waddle on Minnesota and you put Jefferson on Miami, does Waddle do the same?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Does he break Randy Moss's records consecutively every year?
Well, probably in Minnesota, because Minnesota, like you said, it's in Minnesota Randy Moss. Like, it's not collectively Randy Moss's career. That's a whole different. Justin Jefferson ain't getting 23 receiving touchdowns in the motherfucking season. You understand that? He's not doing that. So my whole point is,
well, give him time. Like Randy had to get it, but go ahead.
Oh, Randy was a dog from the start.
No, you're right.
Justin hasn't been. I'm just saying. And to Q's point, okay, Randy back then, NFC wasn't as weak as it is today. So Randy was playing against some good Deion Sanders and some NFC opponents.
No, you're right.
Like Randy has some challenges. Bringing back, you know what I'm saying? Charles Woodson and all. Randy has some challenges.
Hey, watch this. Watch this, Mal. Ding. The level of competition is very impressive when we're talking Waddle. Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Jets, Vikings, Steelers.
You are absolutely correct. But once again, when you're the decoy and Tyreek Hill is the guy that you have to double, it changes things. It does, though. That's not anything far out for me to say.
But okay,
no, he's doing great. I want to reiterate. I think he is an amazing wide receiver, but I'm saying I think it's different than when you're the guy that the defense is keying on, as opposed to Justin Jefferson always being that.
So you don't think the defense is key on Adam Thielen at all, is what you're saying?
They guard him.
You think they just let him run rapid?
They guard him. They definitely guard him.
Adam Thielen was the Cooper Cup 2 years ago. You do realize he
was doing his thing. I agree with that.
But what I'm saying is, you don't think that ever since then.
But what do you say? What do you say all the time? What have you done for me lately?
Right,
lately, and you said it out your own mouth. He ain't been doing shit.
Right, but look
at the Vikings' record.
Is a decoy, Cliff. I don't care that Waddle's better than Thielen. A decoy is a decoy. A threat is still a threat. How many threats do we all know we know there's threats that are large threats and there's threats that are minor threats in the world. But a threat is a threat at the end of the day. A decoy is a decoy at the end of the day. So it's not just Justin Jefferson. It's not. It's like CT said. They have Hawkinson now. They've had Dalvin Cook. They got Thielen. Jalen Reagor is no-ho. Former Philly boy.
I like Reagor.
Former sprinter. Boy is fast as fuck. Matter of fact, Jalen Reagor might be their Waddle to their Tyreek Hill, a.k.a. Justin Jefferson.
He's trying to move into it. He's trying to move into it, but like I've said as well, Thielen's also coming off an injury.
I mean,
but like Malcolm's putting it to you.
Yeah.
You said, Cousins has many guys to spread the ball to.
He does. In a weaker conference, too.
I agree.
Cousins is number 2 in a weak-ass conference.
I agree.
Now
Tyreek Hill gets most of his yards second half.
Right. He do. That motherfucker, boy. Because I be looking at my app like, what the fuck you doing, Tyree? That second half come.
Because you got to guard Waddle.
Right.
That's not always the case, though. It's not always the second half.
Most of the time, Q's right, because like I said, my fantasy points for Tyreek will be like 2 points in the first half. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that second half coming 20 points or some shit. Like, damn. The fuck? I mean, Justin Jefferson is a dog, but I just don't know if he's that guy. I don't think he's that guy yet. You're not that guy yet, Justin Jefferson. You're not.
I don't know if you can say that, because motherfuckers was calling Randy the next guy in Minnesota.
But he's not Randy Moss. I understand you're breaking his records through the first 3 seasons, but you're not Randy Moss. Randy Moss in his rookie season, I believe, had 3 touchdowns against Green Bay.
So
3 receiving touchdowns against Green Bay.
So are you now proving my point that Mayweather and Tom Brady are not the GOAT?
No.
That sounds like exactly what I was saying last week,
that's a different conversation and different. You have a different view.
But that's what I was saying last week, right? Wasn't that exactly what I was saying? That regardless of the stats, regardless of all that, these players did more in their situation. That's exactly what I was saying last week.
I'm just saying, if you put the level of talent, again, that Randy Moss had to go against compared to Justin Jefferson is not the same. I'm expecting you, Justin Jefferson. Like you said, if it's Waddle, Chase, even Devontae Smith, if you're on the Vikings, you're the primary guy. I'm expecting you to put up numbers.
You don't have to explain it to me, because I tried to explain it to y'all.
And Randy Moss had to go against a nasty defense in the Green Bay Packers, a nasty defense in the Detroit Lions, a crazy defense in the Chicago
just
Bears.
Just like who I said, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, Steve Young.
No, Cliff, because let me tell you this. This is just my opinion. Some of the greatest, or I feel like a lot of the majority of the greatest all-time players come from the range of the 90s and the 2000s.
Okay.
The 80s had some. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there wasn't those guys. But I'm saying, and again, I'm not trying to be biased, but I feel like watching football growing up that I was very blessed with the talent that we all got to see. You know what I mean? We can go on for days. I'm just saying, Tom Brady's been in the league for 22 years, whatever. I'm just saying that span that he's played in, those decades, he's played some of the best. I mean, the guys he's played, most of them have gold jackets. You know what I'm saying? Most of them are Hall of Famers. Themselves. Brett Favre and them played against some good guys too, but I'm saying they didn't play in 2 of the toughest. Like Tom Brady came in the league. Well, he came in 2000. Okay, I see. But my whole point is he still had some of them 90, the end of the 90. He still went against probably Deion Sanders at some point, probably the tail end. But I'm saying he went against the Charles Woodsons. He went against some of the best Hall of Famers. You to say
and what I say, they made fucking rules for him. They made rules for Tom Brady.
They did it for Peyton Manning. They did it for a lot of people, though.
Right, the new age, the softer cats. But when you look at the Steve Youngs, all them going up against Lawrence Taylor, Junior Seau, all these motherfuckers that's trying to take your head off, and they could legally do so. Could legally take you up top and snatch your helmet off and bring you down.
But Cliff, 20 years ago they were still letting you do that. When Tom Brady came into the league, they were still letting motherfuckers get roughed up. Michael Vick got his ass beat every year.
They weren't letting motherfuckers get roughed up like that. I just said my whole point of me saying that back in the day was those 3 quarterbacks that I named, they had articles saying if they take another major impact, they will be brain dead for life.
Get a better offensive line.
Wait. Now we're in the era of the Will Smith concussion movie, where scientists are figuring out that's not good for your body. Bitch, do you think we didn't know that back then? Do you think that we didn't know football was dangerous back then? So now just because you have science and you're trying to soften up the sport, of course it makes the sport easier. Of course it does. Because there's so many hits that you can't put on anybody anymore. So yes, it's going to be a lot harder for a quarterback to get up from a sack Especially, you can't even put weight on a quarterback. You know, that's a penalty. If you get sacked and you put your weight on the quarterback, that is a penalty. That's roughing the passer.
I still got to side with Malcolm.
Was getting lit up in the AFC championships and the playoffs by Ray Lewis.
But regardless, it's a different era.
I got to side with Malcolm on this one, man.
It's a different era.
You got to remember what division Brady played in the bulk of his career.
He played in the AFC.
We didn't have big offenses. I'm talking about the AFC East. We had nasty defense. Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Buffalo with Bruce Smith and them boys.
I'm just saying, why wasn't there a Terry Bradshaw rule or a Steve Young rule or you know what I'm saying, a John Elway rule? That happened
against your Raiders, though.
I'm saying any of that, man.
And Cliff,
reasons why they added all of those extra penalties to the quarterback came from Brady. Not just the tuck rule.
A lot of those rules.
The reason you can't put your weight on a quarterback, and the reason you can't just blindside a quarterback and hit him in the back.
That was all playoffs because quarterbacks for a span were getting hurt in the playoffs. That's where I see that happening.
But I'm saying, do you think that wasn't the case back then?
Oh no, that definitely was the case. You fell on the pile on purpose.
And they played through that shit is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They had to make those stats without these rules.
Well, Cliff, let's be honest though. Go ahead.
It's all
money. It's all money, right?
Right.
NFL wants their money. Number two, let's be honest. Out of respect to the quarterbacks you named and people you named, weren't none of them Tom Brady. Well, none of them.
But then the question becomes: would Tom Brady be Tom Brady without all of the rules?
But a lot of those rules, Cliff, first of all,
came from Tom Brady because, like you said, it's a money thing. So they want the guy that everybody's looking at as the next Joe Montana to be around as long as possible. So let's implement a rule where you can't put your weight on a quarterback. Let's implement a rule where even if you fumble, you didn't fumble. All these things came from Brady, is what I'm saying. So there wasn't a big NFL media market behind these quarterbacks back in the day protecting them, is what I'm saying. So what I'm getting at right now is the higher up see a big hit happen to their man, their next Joe Montana, and they flinch harder than Brady flinched. And they say, you know what? We got to do something about that. Can't name a quarterback from back in those days that happened to.
Oh, it's Tom Brady's fault and Michael Jordan's fault? Because the Detroit Pistons and NFL teams.
No, not at all. Is it their fault? I'm just saying that you cannot say that the numbers are skewed because of
Michael Jordan not the GOAT because they had the Jordan rules with Detroit. Because they made rules for Jordan. That was back in the 90s, right? No, the 90s, right? That was before.
That's an interesting argument.
They didn't make rules for Kobe Bryant.
But see, the difference is basketball and football. Your body's not taking. The whole point of football is to hit you. You're the quarterback. I want to hit you. Right? That's what I'm here for. Now, a foul is a foul. But any foul that stops you, like literally stops you from continuing the game, that puts you out unconscious, the goal of me as a defensive back or a defensive lineman or edge or anything is to put you out, hit you as hard as I can. So when you implement rules that say I can't, or I can only hit you from here to here, that makes it a lot harder for them to do their jobs, correct?
Time out, Cliff. That is actually, I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but that's actually your opinion. Your opinion of the rules on defense is to take you out. But that's not what they're teaching these kids when they play football. That's just the truth. If you look at these, like if you go to a practice, I guarantee you today, like starting off in Little League, they're not saying put them on the
I'm not even
make a tackle.
Right, but that tackle is supposed to. I don't know when you came up playing football, but my coach always said you make them not want to come your way again. You make them not want to tackle you again. What does that mean? That means you use your force to stop them from wanting to come your way. But if I am an Aaron Donald, right? What do you think that force would be if I could really give it to you?
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying publicly, like in the sport of football, can't no coach publicly come out and say
I get it, right? But it's also, that's what I'm getting at. Is back in those days,
Dan Campbell can.
Back in those days, it's what doesn't have to be said is understood.
Right.
In these days, it's completely different, and that all came from when we started redshirting quarterbacks on Sundays. And where did that come from? Your TB12.
I don't know. Tua don't get no red shirt, so I don't know about that life.
But it's like Tom said about the flags. I can't. And same thing with Jordan.
But Tua shit, like we said, that don't come from hits. That come from them dragging his ass and flopping him around like a fucking doll. That don't come from no impact, no helmet to helmet. Back in the day, you could have helmet to helmet.
But is it Tom Brady and Michael Jordan's fault that people decided on rules based off what they
Once again, I say no. All I'm saying is the numbers are skewed because of such.
And maybe Joe Montana.
Just like, look, to make the argument in basketball, like you said, just like they stopped all that hand checking and arms on your back and all that so the offense could score at will. It's the exact same way. I'm not saying that these players aren't talented. I'm just saying the numbers are skewed when you look at how people could play. So if you put one of those players in this era where you can't touch me on defense, they may be the next Steph. They may be better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, caveat.
And Steph was a bad person to use, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because he is by far the best shooter.
I get what you're
saying. But is Steph the best shooter when I can really put hands on you and push you and put my, you know what I'm saying? That's
a rebuttal to that is, Cliff, back then, like in the 80s or something, like they played less games in the NFL than they do now. The seasons weren't as long. I think they were like 13, 14, something like that, maybe even 12. I don't know.
You 12 they for a while, I believe.
Yeah, they weren't as... So even though it was more physical, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, to your point, I think maybe that was their... Well, we can't make it as long like we would 30, 40 years from now. Like, we got to shorten this shit up because this shit is physical. So maybe what I'm trying to say is, if they did have it played the same way today as you're saying before, the NFL games definitely wouldn't be as long. And
but you can't do 17 game seasons. You just can't do that when you're allowing these players to really hit.
Right. Maybe that's what it is. We want this, like you said, the money. We want longer seasons. They already canceled they changed the Pro Bowl. It's, some like little kid shit now.
Right.
Like they're making all these changes
because they want people to last longer, to make money off of them longer. And once again, like you said, it's not Tom Brady's fault that he was good enough for them to want to do that. It's just that the numbers are skewed. That's it.
I still feel like he played against better talent overall, more gold jackets than some of the guys you're talking about.
Well, yeah, because look how long his career was.
Right.
That's the thing. There it is. Look at that. You feel what I'm saying? When you're not taking hits, that's what happens. I can play forever.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm going 50-50 then. I'm going half you, half me. I like that. That's a good.
And I'm not mad. And I'm not mad at that because you got me a couple times that made me think about it. And I still feel that way a bit, that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in that era to prove you are the best, but I can't side with, you know what I mean? Like,
it's variances, yeah.
Just like you said about Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson, it's the exact same argument when you think about it.
That's true, yeah.
It's the exact same argument.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to break Randy Moss's records every year when they allow what they allow now. They allow DBs to get away with more back in those days.
Right. You had Raiders clothesline in the Steelers back in the 70s.
So put Justin Jefferson back in those days, and does he still put up those numbers? Those are good questions to ask. I see you with your new Bills hoodie, my nerve. We got Coach Mike in the building. What's happening?
Oh no, this is an old one.
Oh, is it? I like it.
Oldie, but
oldie but a goodie.
I like it. Y'all slid by them Lions.
Yes, we did.
Y'all got the win, though. Y'all got the win. You know what's funny is I wanted
trying to throw games away at the end. I don't understand.
I told you that. I didn't tell you that, but we talked about that on the podcast. Josh Allen is still fucking up in the red zone.
He is.
I don't know what it is.
Come out to win the last two. So
right. That makes sense, huh? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're used to throwing in the Buffalo and all that shit. Now you're in a dome.
No, we suck at Buffalo.
I was going to say that should be better. That should be.
Yeah, no,
it should be easier, right? But if you're already thinking like, if I'm conditioned to know it's gonna be a little wind on this one, let me put it right here, then you may not be ready for that clear skies in the dome.
Josh is struggling right now, and I'm not sure why. Like, I don't know if it's our play calling that's not giving him confidence early in games, or if he's just getting shaken up.
That's interesting.
If he's still hurt. I mean,
I think clearly he's still hurt.
He's playing through stuff. Which,
right.
My preference would have been to just sit for 3 weeks and take the 3 losses and then come into the end of the season ready to game. But flip side is even if they don't end up winning the division, they're probably still pretty well locked to win the wild card. So
here's the thing, though, right? The Bills have already played in everybody else's stadium, so who gives a fuck about home field advantage? Right? You just want to get in there. Even your home games are in somebody else's stadium, so what the fuck is the point of wanting to play in Buffalo other than the weather?
No, I mean, that's not an advantage.
Sit them.
That's where you're getting to, is that'll be an advantage in the playoffs.
Right.
Get there.
So why not? I'm with you on that. Why not sit them? Just sit them.
Well, now you can't, because now we're going to
the window's closed.
Right. We had 4 weeks of non-division games where we could have sat fucking everybody, gotten healthy, probably still beat the Lions, maybe still beat the Browns.
That's an interesting go for y'all. And now y'all got the Pats next.
The bottom of the division, Pats.
CT. He's listening.
Look at
his face was priceless.
We're going to see.
His face was priceless.
Oh, shit. Nah, but I do think that y'all, I mean, that's a different beast, right? Because the Pats defense been holding up, so now...
I mean, here's the deal. They've lost to the Jets twice. Who loses to the Jets twice?
This is the new Jets.
No, it's...
It's clearly a new Jets. They got a winning record.
Jets twice?
Yes. You've lost to the Jets twice.
Not this season.
Yes. You
just beat the Jets.
What?
Not this season.
Oh no, you're right. They beat.
Yeah, not this season. Not twice this season. I was confused for a second.
That's my fault. That's my fault. I looked at it wrong.
I was confused for a second.
not this
squad.
Oh,
I mean, all right, but their losses. Let's look at their losses.
We hold team to 3
Green Bay, trash.
Yeah.
All right, Minnesota. They lost to they lost to Chicago before Chicago was spiking.
Well, maybe that was the start of the spike.
That was the start of we were going crazy that Monday night game.
It's fine. The Patriots are at the bottom of the division where they belong after spending 30 years on the top of it. So
it's still close.
It is close. The division itself is close.
No, it is.
I mean, we've still got a good chance that 3 teams from the AFC East make it. So we'll see.
Let's just crack this beer to only be able to pour half.
Yeah, I was telling Cliff and them earlier, Mike, that I see OBJ is supposed to be coming on Friday for a official visit.
Hope he can get on. Hope he's allowed to get on a plane.
Oh, right. I'm sure his best friend Von Miller got arrangements. He said, "Listen,
I'll fly you out.
Right. I'll even come pick you up."
We'll net jet this shit and not have to worry about it.
I wondered how Buffalo is thinking ahead of that meeting. With like, do they really care? Are they like?
No, I mean Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo needs him. So unless that meeting goes something like, "Hey, we're going to give you a vet min contract if you want to come play for us," like.
I mean, he doesn't.
I think they give him more than a vet minimum. I don't even think they fly him out for for a vet minimum. What's the point?
I don't disagree. I think they're doing it to basically tell Vaughn, like, hey, we'll talk to him. But they have no intent of signing it.
I mean, listen, Vaughn's word must mean something. He recruited him to the Rams, Los Angeles, won a ring.
I've been saying he's going to the Rams. I mean, Bills. So I think that's where he's going to go.
But right now, Vaughn's got credibility.
He did, actually.
Vaughn's got credibility right now.
I mean, Vaughn does.
I do agree.
I don't think OBJ does. But
Right.
I mean, they could slide. I mean, they could slide him into a slot position.
Yeah,
Like
that's crazy. I flipped right to the right page, and it does say CT Bills.
I swear.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying though too. When we asked about where's he going to go weeks ago, I said he's going to go to Buffalo because the whole Von Miller thing. Yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to have him, Mike. I'm not saying you guys need him, but it definitely doesn't hurt to have him.
no, I mean, it's whatever. You've got Stephon, you've got Gabe Davis, you got Dawson Knox.
And let's be honest, sometimes Josh goes for the gun, and y'all's wide receivers don't always land correctly, catching it in coverage.
Well, and that's where, like, if you want to bring him in to supplement,
Right.
and Shakir,
And that's exactly who I was thinking about. Isaiah has been catching some passes where it's been in coverage and coming down on his helmet type shit.
Yeah.
Make it easier for Stephon on the side.
Well, no doubt. And I mean, that's why Stephon has done so well in Buffalo, is that there are other targets.
Stephon Diggs had to shake it off after what's the dude, the long-haired linebacker on Detroit, 54? Smacked him.
Yeah.
And he was like you seen him shake his helmet off. Like, I was like, listen, if Josh is going to be inaccurate, like, it's like his target radius is widened since he's gotten injury.
Yeah.
You're going to need backups if there's a chance for those hits.
No doubt. Which is, I mean, ultimately, I think you're going to see Hines and Cook do more catching out of the backfield.
As y'all should.
Yeah. And honestly, that's where Singletary, like, his first couple of years with the Bills, that's what he did really well.
Right.
A better receiver out of the backfield than a running back. Now, he's gotten better running the ball. I still haven't seen enough times to have an opinion on him.
I like him, though.
I'm hoping... Well, and Cook is the one that's come on running the ball lately. Like, so, you went from Moss, Singletary, and Cook to Singletary, Cook, and...
Don't play with Naheem. Play with Naheem.
Ultimately, I question having 3 running backs when we only run the ball 20 times a game outside of Josh, or 15 times a game outside of Josh. But I said that last year, and we came on strong in the run game the back half of the season. So
it's almost like Josh Allen says, "Sit down, little nigga, I got this." And he might have said that if you checked his Facebook from a while. No, I'm just playing.
It keeps your running backs. I mean, it keeps their legs fresh. I mean, that's why, Cliff, to your point, that's why I say don't start Miles Sanders.
Yeah, you want legs fresh, but you also want a rhythm.
Right.
I don't want you to hold my touches. I want to be able to get a rhythm. It might take me a couple runs to actually, get my legs up under me.
My thing is more about the fact that they've held their runs for the season, and I think you're going to get a heavy dose of Buffalo run game these last
that would be smart
5-6 games and into the playoffs.
That would be smart. But my prediction is that we do get a heavy dose of run from Buffalo, but it's not going to be from the running backs. That motherfucker Josh Allen says, "Hold my beer. I'll do this myself." That's what I gather from him.
But, there's lots of risk, though.
There's a lot to risk. And I don't know how high the reward is at the moment.
Yeah. Especially after so many games, so many hits. That shit adds up, you know. But
Well, it does, and I think he's still shaking up. Like he is, like these last 4 or 5 weeks, he has not been what he was the first 8 or 6.
Let me see something. Yeah, we good. Okay. Because I don't really got no news like that, so it's really only 2 other games I want to cover.
You don't got no news?
Nah, not like that. The only real news I had was nothing new. Russell Westbrook, the Broncos players lose confidence in Russell Westbrook's leadership. Russell Wilson's leadership.
I mean, they fit. It's the same thing. They fit together.
They are the same thing, ain't they? Goddamn.
Well, Russell Westbrook been playing a lot better lately, especially compared to a Russell.
No,
Wilson.
he has. No, he definitely has. I give him that. But he's also coming off the bench, and you can't do that as a quarterback in the NFL.
Was it before or after he got whacked in the head?
Before.
A little bit before, yeah. He was averaging about, what, off the bench, he was averaging like 14 to 18.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, okay, I was just wondering.
But that's a different show. Tune into that in about 3 months.
He said 3 months.
Yeah, after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl in February, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Early February.
Or 2 months. Because it's actually tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it's December. Yeah, it is December. Well, it's November now, but it's about to be December. You're right.
Well, tomorrow's the first.
I'm looking at that 11 on the calendar, and that threw me off. But Raiders Seahawks, and then we'll touch on the. I really don't care to touch on the Detroit, or I said Detroit, on the Dolphins.
We don't gotta talk about it.
Yeah,
Dolphins Texans.
Yeah, they sat 2 at the motherfucking half.
They fucked me over in fantasy, man.
30-0 at the half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't really care to talk about that. That wasn't even the game we really talk about. You play like high school rules where you sit in your starters at halftime. Then I don't care to talk about no professional football like that. I'ma just be one. I'ma just say congratulations, Q. I salute you.
Did y'all hear that Mike McDaniels was having fun in that game and he called into Tua's ear and said that Georgia's the best team in the SEC?
Yeah.
Did you see that kid? They was having fun.
I like him, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Too. I like Nick Sirianni. I like these guys now. They grew on me.
Okay, the only thing I will say about that game is Mike McDaniels talked to the players in the locker room after the game. I don't want to spoil it, but you guys need to see it. You're talking about the nerdiest, corniest, but most scariest fucking talk. Yeah,
he said after the game.
Yeah, after the game. Okay, when he was just talking to the guys in the locker room about how, it wasn't a great game. We fucked up. Yada yada yada. Yeah. But it was funny, especially how he ended it and made a word rhyme with a word that should never fucking rhyme.
Yeah, I do like him. He has their buy-in.
He grew on me. Wasn't feeling him at the beginning of the season.
I wasn't either.
Was not feeling on him at the beginning.
Neither one of them. Motherfuckers talking about flowers and shit and playing games. I said, what? But these niggas got it, though. The teams love them. Maybe that's that part of that new generation you're talking about, though, Cliff. Like, your younger guys, like, and some of these younger coaches, the Siriannis, the Mike McDaniels.
The generation has changed, so you got to change the old guard because the old guard's on back in the day, but they can't strategize to that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always working out. Now you look at your Belichick's and the guy's just like, I got it. Like, I got it.
Right, that's militant.
Yeah, I got this. And I think that plays a part. That military background, I think that does play a part into how good he is.
Motherfucker.
His strategizing and his strategizing and his keeping his team in line is bar none. Bar none.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
But
Seahawks and Broncos game.
No, Raiders Seahawks. We got the 40-34 win, the 6-point win.
Not a lot of defense in that game, huh?
Nah, it sure wasn't. And I said it that episode 2 back that you wasn't on. Raiders need to hit the draft hard, get a quarterback. They need a linebacker.
They are not getting a quarterback. Derek Carr is their guy.
Nope, they need a quarterback, they need a linebacker, and they need a safety.
You need one of everything on defense, to be honest. We
do need. You're right. We need a corner too. Well, that's because Nate Hobbs is currently out. I don't mind Abdullah at the corner. We just need another corner that can hold up. And Nate Hobbs being injured is fucked up. That fucks us up. He's been out for most of the season, and it shows. It shows.
I don't know. Y'all miss Carl Nassib too, man.
Malcolm's got it.
He gave the team a good boost.
Get that push up the middle, man.
First of all, he was an edge.
Penetrate the offensive line.
First of all, he was an edge rush, so make sure you're tucked in nice and tight. Is all I'm saying. Tuck them edges.
Hey, look.
So circling back to Derek. Derek is still a top end quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he is. Man.
Based off stats. But like I said, number 4 is not baby. Number 4 is not a killer.
He's just not. He's not a killer, and he does make poor decisions. That's the only thing. I think he has talent, though. I think he just makes poor decisions, and he doesn't have that killer. I mean, he cried in the fucking interview. We talked about that last week, didn't we?
That may be one of the poorest decisions, aside from your fucking 8 interceptions on the season. He got 2. No, it's more than that because he got 2 last game. How many interceptions Derek Carr got on the season?
7.
Okay, so I was 1 off.
He has
7 with 8
on the season versus 18 touchdowns.
But that ratio still is kind of
similar numbers to, let's see, Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, really, it's not that far off of Josh percentage-wise.
Only difference between all those players that you said is Herbert's still fresh in the game, and Kirk is on a winning team currently.
Well, wait, Herbert's on his 3rd season. I don't consider you fresh after the 2nd. Me personally.
You don't consider you fresh after. See, I kind of look at it as school, as college, high school, all that.
Junior.
4 seasons.
Yeah, you're a junior.
And you should be, senior year, you should be showing out.
Junior year, but,
junior year, you can come into it. You may slack your junior year, though.
Here's the problem. If we're equivalent to high school or college, he showed out freshman year. So now that you're a junior, I'm definitely not giving you no,
because maybe you burn out quick. Maybe I'm a straight A student my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, I slow down a bit, and by junior, I'm burnt. Now I need my senior year to show, okay, I'm comfortable. I know how to manage my time. I know how to manage my shit.
Fun fact, I was the opposite of what you described in high school, but I get what you're saying, though.
No, because you said Justin Herbert started out hot as a freshman.
Right. He started off hot. You're saying he's cool. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still feel like, Derek Carr's not a bad quarterback. I mean, he just makes bad decisions at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's not a rated quarterback. That's all I can say. Even Rich Gannon didn't have the best career, but
I love when Raiders fans say Rich.
He gets you there because he's a subpar quarterback. Let's be honest; they did a lot with a subpar quarterback.
I agree.
I would be fighting to give him an actual B rating.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm leaning towards a high B- for Rich Gannon.
Right, I can see.
But he's gotten us there, right? Where you look at Carr, where you look at him on paper, how good he is, you would give him a B+. He's getting a B+ based off stats, based off all that. Yards per year. Multiple 4,000 plus yard years. But you can't get anybody there. So I guess I'm getting at is a Raider quarterback, to me, is a subpar quarterback that can get us there. So Raiders, draft a subpar quarterback. Be a Belichick. The Raiders are the Belichick of quarterbacks. We don't need nobody of name or merit, but we'll get it done. But when they try to get it done with somebody of merit, never works.
Right, that's what I was going. You took the words out of my
They
mouth.
did best with Terrell Pryor, and I'm not even lying. They gave him 3 games, and his stats in those 3 games were impressive.
No Aaron Brooks.
They may have been similar. But the fact that Terrell Pryor had already had that moniker coming out of college, motherfuckers wasn't trying to give him a shot anyway.
Right.
Nah, you a wide receiver, G.
Right.
And after right, well, right. After the Raiders, that's exactly what happened. He got drafted, or not drafted, but taken to the Browns as a receiver.
And he was out, right?
Right. And then they replaced him with Braxton Miller at the receiver. Ironic.
Browns will pick up any loose Ohio boy.
Listen,
Give him
and it seems like
and cash in on the jerseys.
It seems like motherfuckers will live and die in Ohio if they fuck around.
Terrell's from Pennsylvania.
I'd rather live and die in Ohio. No, I'm just playing. That's
why I'm back.
I know. Well, this is supposed to be, I guess, football in general. So I guess we should talk about.
Go ahead, motherfucker.
Last week, Mike, how'd you feel about the good old OH, the Buckeyes?
Motherfucker.
I mean, here's the thing, and I don't know if people realize this or not, because you're like the 8th person that say something to me about this. I am not an Ohio State fan. I have not been an Ohio State fan since Urban Meyer.
Mike, you talk about him every time you come on the show,
and usually I'm trashing them.
No,
you can't. That's one thing you cannot say is me and Mike have been talking pretty low of the Buckeyes for the past few years.
Fans, though, right?
No, I am a fan, but I told you last year, right? I said if Michigan has a chance, it's this year. And I told you this year, I'm not confident in Ohio State's chances this year either. I told you both times. I've never lied, is all I'm saying. Now, while I am still a fan, I will never not be a fan of Ohio State. I don't watch like that because you don't have a defense. That's what I watch for.
Well, you don't have a defense, and you are poorly coached. Like, the fact that we are in man coverage that entire back half of the game and getting fucking run on? Like, no shit, you're in fucking man. There's no reason to be in man coverage. This is I've been saying this about Ohio State since Urban Meyer. We are a poorly coached team. Urban Meyer and Ryan Day both come from the school of thought that if you go out and hire 5-star or go out and find 5-star recruits, they can just show up and fucking win.
Right.
They don't develop players. And they haven't.
You're correct.
Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel is the last coach to develop players at Ohio State.
And even he was touchy on certain positions, but I do agree with you. I almost feel like Jim Tressel had more competent defense coming out of Ohio State going into the league than offense.
We won like 4 games.
That's what was scary.
That first national title or that national title run.
Because Tressel would run the ball 80% of the time.
But
8-4, like just dumb scores.
In defense to Michigan, I'm about to make this statement up. When they fired Derek's grandpa Lloyd Carr, that's when all the bad shit happened with Michigan football. Because he used to give him and Tressel; those were some good games when we had Lloyd Carr.
Right.
And what I was disappointed about was I actually liked Brady Hoke. Brady Hoke is one of my favorite Big Ten coaches of all time because he's a good dude. And he actually coaches. He coaches a position as a head coach. He coached the defensive line as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverine.
Right.
Doesn't hurt that he also played nose guard, like yours truly. But I've met the dude a couple of times. And
I made newspaper nose guards. I can't talk.
But the flip side of that is, here's my other take on Ohio State, Michigan. It is good for the game of college football when you have Ohio State and Michigan ranked 1 and 2 heading into that game, or you have them ranked in the top 5 heading into that game. It has been such an embarrassment for the last 15, 20 years of Ohio State just owning Michigan that the rivalry had actually lost some of its luster. This brings it back. The last 2 years bring it back to actually being a rivalry, which I am actually a big fan of because guess what everybody was talking about this weekend, even if it was about the fact that Ohio State lost. And I don't know if you guys saw Stephen A. Smith. He said we need to take the off of the Ohio State. Because I hate when I see it everywhere, like the little T and then OSU. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know nothing about that. Listen, I go to the Ohio State physical therapy, and on Michigan week, they had all the M's in the
all the M's crossed out.
They don't play. Yeah, they don't play that shit. Y'all dedicated. That's the thing about Ohio State fans is you guys are dedicated.
They were even calling like the physical. There's a physical therapist named Michelle. And they were calling her Ishelle.
Right. So I wouldn't be. So you guys shouldn't have called me Malcolm. Maybe that's why y'all lost.
I should have called you Alchem Powder King.
But no, that was. I mean, hey, I've been saying I didn't think that we would. Honestly, I didn't think we would win because y'all remember, especially Cliff and Q. I said. Marvin Harrison Jr., Mike, I was telling them, I was like, dude, he's going to tear us up. Like, Blake Corum's banged up to Cliff's point. He was saying, I didn't know it was going to happen. And
DJ Stroud is another quarterback in the long line of Ohio State quarterbacks that ain't going to do shit in the NFL.
It would be a wide receiver in Cleveland and fizzle out of his career.
He probably won't do shit in the NFL now that I think about it. We said the same thing about Justin Fields. Y'all said the same thing about Justin Fields.
Just give Justin one more year and you'll see the real.
Nah, I don't know if I'm on that. Because you know what I said. Justin Fields isn't a real Ohio State quarterback.
You always say that.
He came from Georgia. And regardless, there is a benefit to seeing two different systems, regardless of if either one is going to build me up. Like, neither one of them is working with me, but at least I got to work with two different systems to see the difference.
Right. And
I can gain my own.
Broadly. Like, if nothing else, having experience with multiple college coaches.
Right.
Like, you've heard different things from different coaches.
It even gives you an idea of how to come into the NFL. Right. Every coach ain't going to be hands-on with me.
Yeah, and you've got bits and pieces. Like, that's, I mean... Anywhere where you can, it's good to get multiple experience, especially when it comes to coaching staffs, like just understanding different points of view and how the game's played and how you should make your reads and your mechanics and all of that, because not everything works for everybody.
Right.
So if you've got more options to choose from and you find something that does work for you, you've just got a better chance of finding something that works for you.
Right. No, I agree with that. But we'll move on.
Ryan Day for president, and we can move on.
Man, listen.
People already calling for his job.
I know. That's what I was telling Cliff.
I don't want him there either.
No, he was made a coach in waiting too early. They've given it to him right after Urban. He was just meant to continue the Urban mentality, and I think that's everything that's wrong with Ohio State football. Right
and look at Fogel. Meanwhile,
McDaniel
on the come up.
I mean, Fickle
Is
just
that Fickle?
Wisconsin head show. Or who was it? Who just took the
I'm talking about, that's the dude from Cincinnati. Isn't that what I say, Fogel?
It's not Fogel.
It's Fogel, like from Superbad. So I was like, what?
Oh, who's Fogel, McLeod?
It's Fickle.
It's Fickle. Oh, I knew it was something F word.
Right, Fogel. Yeah. Superbad, McLovin.
Is that, that's who that was, huh?
Now you make me want to watch that shit. But yeah, I mean, shit. Crazy week in football in general.
It was, and I do have to give a shout out because they lost to the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, who tied our record of 11-1.
So now they just with y'all.
Yep.
Now it's just a bigger pool.
They can have their picture right next to us in the Hall of Fame.
Now it's just a bigger pool of mediocre players that couldn't get it done.
So Mike, you played for Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah. I used to go to his games.
Let me find out. Okay.
Yeah, he showed out. I can't lie about that. I seen it with my own eyes.
Mike, how far was that school from Pittsburgh?
I mean, it's downtown. Like we're like.
Oh, you're downtown.
Yeah, we're right next to University of Pittsburgh.
How long was that drive? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, it's 3 hours from here.
Well, a little less if you ride with Kev.
My aunt went to school there. Duh. I've been there when I was like real little.
Yeah. Your aunt went to Carnegie?
Yeah, man.
She a robot too. Ask her to cut her one time when you see her and see if oil come out or if she bleeds circuits. I'm telling you, all them there got replaced.
Man.
Like how they say the rappers get cloned. That's what happened there. They got replaced. They innards got taken out and replaced with hardware, and that's why you get. That's what I'm saying. I've been wanting to cut Mike for a while now.
Get an X-ray. Okay, get an X-ray.
Listen, you gonna see me in there with a laser that shines through skin, and I'm gonna do it real nonchalant on the podcast. Like, what is? Did y'all see that? Y'all see them circuits?
He's gonna throw a magnet at me and it's just gonna stick.
Oh, listen, don't start something. Now I'm gonna have to come up with some ideas.
He gonna test it.
They just gonna pop out on Do Fools Agree. You gonna be like, why he throw something at him?
Right.
And I'm gonna just point at the camera.
Oh,
y'all see that? All right, let's get into these picks here. Last one, I just do want to say, Buccaneers lost to the Browns 23-17.
More importantly, Tom Brady lost to Jacoby Brissett.
Right. Something's not right. And you know what's not right? It's Jizzy from the block driving him fucking crazy. She could have at least waited till after the season.
I don't know. I saw some rumor that he's with some Instagram influencer now.
Oh, I'm sure he's doing what he can.
All of them.
I'm sure he's doing what he can to piss her off. Uh-oh. We got my lady, Miss Rita Barnes, in the building. You gotta you gotta change your YouTube, baby. Change that YouTube, baby. She said Jets rock the Bills.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what she said. That's what your mama said. Jets rock the Bills.
My mother is a contrarian, all right?
Right, isn't she a Seattle fan now?
Right. Well, she grew up in Western New York and roots for the Jets, and then she graduated from Ohio State and roots for Michigan. So,
well, that makes me like her even more. She's just a contrarian. I like to go with
a rebel.
Right, whatever y'all ain't going with. I can get with that. If I grew up in Michigan, I'd probably still be OH.
Oh no.
But yeah, the Buccaneers took that L 17-23 to the Browns. Tom Brady just ain't himself. Throwing 67.4% completion. He did throw 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but he couldn't crack the 100 club. Where is Benjamin Franklin when you need him with a 97.6 QBR?
Well, do we put it on Tom or do we put it on Byron Leftwich? I mean, and that's so. I know this sounds wrong.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
That's the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know, then you have the.
Everybody loves him. Don't play him like that.
Well, then you have the newer coach, right? The successor. What's his name? The head coach of the Bucs. They gave the coach to him after Bruce Arians left. The black guy. Who's the coach of the Bucs?
See, this is why there aren't more black coaches in the NFL. You guys can't even name the one there is.
Right. That's tough, ain't it? That's fucked up. But, damn, I know who you're talking about, though.
Hey, Siri, who is the coach of the Buccaneers? Todd Bowles. That's ignorant.
Right, of course. I was about to say, do the fuck, be enemy or something. I don't know what. I knew it was a B in my mouth, but I'm about to go.
What I'm getting at is like he wasn't the best coach on the Jets. Yes, he has Tom Brady, but I heard that him and Tom Brady's been having differences. They're clearly not playing the best.
No, so Tom believes he should call the plays.
And he should. I mean, no offense, when you have
we talked about that, didn't we?
When you have Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich, I'm not trying to diss Byron Leftwich, but I'm just, I guess I go back to his career, which wasn't the worst, but it also was definitely not.
But they say they make the best coaches, the people that aren't as capable.
Right. Steve Kerr and them
that see the game. You know what I mean? Like that's different.
I will always be a fan of a former player becoming a coach.
I am as well because the players love him.
Less than Steve Nash.
Go ahead, Mike. What you said?
No, I was just gonna say rather than it being somebody who came up as a coach versus being a
right. You got to know what it feels like.
That's how you end up with the Ryan Days and the Urban Meyers.
Well, I don't know because I don't think Mike McDaniels probably came up. I don't know if you know. I don't know if Mike McDaniels necessarily came up.
I don't think so either.
But he's a damn good coach.
And if he ever was on the field, I bet that motherfucker was kicking.
Was a kicking? I was about to say.
You knew what that was. Yeah, fix that ear. You knew what was about to come out. That motherfucker was a kicker. He didn't have pads on. He just had shoulder pads.
Hold on.
Shoulder pads and basketball shorts and came out there kicking real quick.
He was water boy or videotape coordinator.
I bet. That might be right. That might be right. He might have lost his kicking job to a woman from the soccer team.
The assistant to the assistant coach.
He out there spraying water in her mouth and they like, be careful. You might have to talk to HR. I'm done.
All right, get to these.
Yes,
get Bills tomorrow.
Let's start picking some shit. All right, Bills Pats out the gate. That's an interesting one. Yes, you looking where it's at. It's in New England. That's an interesting one. Alrighty. I'm going Pats 3. Yep, that's exactly you. I'm glad you did that. Bills 3. What y'all got? Look at Key's face. He trying to figure some things out. That nigga studying.
I'm just, man. I'm really just looking at the two team names over and over. Like, what the hell?
That's a tough one, man. But I'm going.
What version of the Bills shows up?
Right.
Exactly. And does Belichick run the ball or want Mac Jones to go crazy again? Man, I can't trust New England, man. I got to go Buffalo 7.
Okay.
Good choice, Q.
I'm not against that, and I'm not against that.
I got the difference. Here's the difference. Last year, the first meeting between these teams, New England threw the ball actually, I don't think they threw the ball at all, and they almost beat us, or they did beat us that game.
Mm-hmm.
Our run defense is vastly improved.
Right.
So I've got faith that we can shut down the run, and I ain't worried about Mac fucking Jones.
I mean, I do lean with the Bills, but something is telling me Pats 3. Who you got, Malcolm? Who you about to say?
I got Pats. Pats. I got Bills by 14. You said
Drake.
You said Pats by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
What'd you say, Bills what?
14.
14.
They about to tear them up.
Okay. Jets Vikings up next.
Vikings by 10. Who won? You never even said who won the pick'ems last week.
I know. I've been waiting.
Vikings by 9.
I'm going Jets 6. Vikings ain't played nobody, huh? Jets is battle tested, huh?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. That quarterback, what's his name? Mike White. I know he had a good week last week, but I don't.
That's the king of fucking New York, G. Don't disrespect Mike White.
I told you last week they already got a quarterback in New York.
That's Frank's son, and he taking over. That's the king of New York, G.
Jets 3.
Jets 3. That's what I wanted to go with, but I felt like they might add a little bit more to the occasion. Titans, Eagles.
I've got Eagles by 7. Our safety's out for the season. C.J. Gardner-Johnson with a kidney laceration. And they just ain't been playing the best ball. And Derrick Henry is going to probably get some good rushing yards against us. So I'm calling that a close game by 7, Philly.
I'm going Eagles 3.
Titans 3.
Titans 3. I like that.
He said he rolling with Tannehill over Hurts.
Rolling with Derrick Henry over everybody.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
He said Titans 3.
Yeah.
I like Tennessee by 10.
Ooh, he trying to one up.
Well, this is the revenge game for AJ Brown, so I do think he'll probably show out.
Browns, Texans.
Browns by. Oh, Deshaun Watson's back this week, man. Browns by 14 on them.
I'm going Browns 13. I already had it written down.
Texans by 21.
Ooh,
What?
shit.
I'm being ignorant.
Got something for that.
I'm being real ignorant.
That's because
he 7-1.
heard that Deshaun Watson's accusers is going to be in the stadium, and they probably about to move them to sideline seats, standing next to the coaches with billboards and shit.
You seen they gonna be there, right?
Like 10. Well, like most of
10
them.
of them, yeah. And I'm hoping some of the players in the Texans locker room, kind of want a piece of. So
Texans 21, I get it. That's Texans a lot.
Texans by 7.
Texans 7. It sounds like you changed that.
I was gonna say 3, but I'm gonna go.
That's what it sounds like.
Who's gonna stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt? And Myles Garrett's definitely getting in that backfield.
John throws multiple picks. First game back.
Listen,
doesn't matter.
Broncos, Ravens next up.
Ravens by 4.
By how much?
14.
I think that's what I was kind of leaning, but I think I think I'm gonna say Ravens 10. I think Broncos got a lot of pressure on them. I think they do lose, but I think they
put up a fight. I think that fight turns into bad shit. I'm going Ravens. I'm going 18.
Man, I was gonna say 17. Ravens, if they didn't learn nothing from last week and they don't show up this week, they're done.
Listen.
Done. Cincinnati taking over.
Here's an interesting one: Chargers, Raiders.
Got to be Chargers.
I'm going Chargers 3.
Chargers 7.
Chargers by 1.
Ooh, I like that. It comes from a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter with 13 seconds left.
Man, Herbert about to light it up. Vegas is about to start crying again, a.k.a. Derek Carr in Vegas. I'm going with Los Angeles by 10. Now, Josh Jacobs is nice, but
he's still questionable. But he was questionable last week, too. All right, we got 2 more. Dolphins, 49ers. I'm going Dolphins 13.
Well, I'm not Dolphins in the win, but I'm gonna say Dolphins by 7. Only because that Niners defense is tough, and they do got Christian McCaffrey.
Dolphins 13.
Okay.
It's tricky because the 49ers haven't been allowing points in the second half of games.
Right, and it's in San Francisco.
Dolphins 13.
A 4-day travel.
But we too fucking explosive. Dolphins by 17.
Ooh,
but
shit.
more explosive to outscore Christian McCaffrey and them.
Dolphins 13.
Man, Bradley Chubb gonna take care of that assignment. I ain't worried about that.
I keep forgetting y'all got him. Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna be the contrarian here. Niners by 3.
It
Like
can
your
happen.
mama. And I'm only speaking facts. Saints, Buccaneers.
Yeah, I see that on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's challenging because both those teams suck ass.
All right.
It's in Tampa. I'm just gonna say Tom by 3.
He said Tom. I'm putting that too.
What do they call it? Tampa. Skip Bayless is so corny. He be calling it Tampa Bay. He don't be saying Tampa. He calling it Tampa.
Okay. Whereas right now it's looking more like Jizzy from the Block Bay.
I want Jameis.
I've been saying that. I've been saying that.
We ain't gonna get him. Buccaneers 8.
Buccaneers 10.
Well, I'm banking on Andy Dalton getting benched halfway through the first quarter. Jameis coming through with that spark and leading them boys to a 3-point victory.
Okay. Saints 3.
Yeah.
Do it for young Saint. Y'all niggas
Tampa
finna
Bay
get served.
into the division with a losing record and still makes the playoffs.
Like it's basketball or something.
Y'all niggas finna get served. Hit the showers. Yeah, who we got?
Man, I gotta give it to the Broncos again. They suck. They need to fire Hackett. I seen that Russell Wilson and his defensive lineman got into it and they're trying to downplay it on the sidelines, I think, after a play. Everybody in Denver, y'all need to hit the showers. They're terrible.
That sounds right. Russell Wilson talk shit about some shit he ain't got no control over. Control your shit.
Lyman cussed him out.
Get your own house in order first.
Now you wonder why we talking about Broncos players losing confidence. You see why. Motherfuckers whole shit imploding.
That's right.
And they right. Let's ride. But you don't throw footballs in a glass house, motherfucker. That's all I can say. I agree with that. Who's next?
Man, I hate Les ain't here. But it's the Baltimore Ravens.
For the loss?
Man, they blowing leads all season. Get all these kudos. Don't want to pay Lamar. You know it got. You know what I'm saying. You know it got a little bit to do with it. You start off the game high, you end the game cold. Jim Harp or John or Jim, I don't know. They fucking look alike. They twin, whatever.
He's stupid. He's stupid.
Figure it out, man. Figure it out. You were a defensive guy, in my eyes, even though you're a quarterback. Everywhere, he's always.
I understand what you said.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't get the words out. It's been a while. But fuck it, hit the showers, Ravens.
That's ignorant.
Yeah,
that's ignorant.
Figure it out.
Mine is going to tie back to our earlier conversation. And instead of the offensive coordinator getting to hit the showers this week, it's going to be the defensive coordinator
of the Buffalo Bills
of the Ohio State University.
Oh yeah, I know that right. I know that's right.
We went and hired you after giving up 458 yards to Michigan last year. And then you go and do the same fucking thing. Hit the showers, bitch.
I'm with that. I don't know what the fuck. Why you even have a defensive coordinator at this point?
I mean, no, it doesn't matter. You go out and hire 5-star or go find 5-star recruits, and they just have to show up to win. The Ohio State mentality.
Listen, my hit the showers is going to Bruce Arian. Because you should have made Jizzy from the block strip and run off in the Tampa Bay field when you had the chance to. Because she fucked the whole Buccaneers up with one signed document. And one jiu-jitsu coordinator coach. And one house next to TB12. He should have learned from Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, and Steve Young. And been the real GOAT, motherfucker. That's why I hit the showers.
I love it when Cliff cracks himself.
Nah, y'all crack me up. Them looks.
That's
from the motherfucking Zoom. Crack me up.
That's what I be doing in my workers in the meetings. I be like.
Listen, I have to turn the camera off sometimes just to so you can't see how I'm really feeling.
Right.
I'll be like BRB RR.
It be sitting right there in the same
just like, what the fuck is going on here? But to all my shower heads out there, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell them to troll. We'll see you next Wednesday in this bitch. Be good or be good at it, as some would say. We out. If I can get this out.
Raiders.